stage is also from Pennsylvania. He's from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. A very big round of applause for Andy Pollack.
Hi, here I am, your cleanup hitter. Right? Just what you guys ordered. So, maybe I should leave and come back, right? Okay, so, when the zombie apocalypse happens, my wife and I have an arrangement, and that arrangement is that she's going to kill me. I'm a talker, so I'm a liability. And we've talked about how we're going to do it. Pretty much, she's going to give me something to talk about, and then I'll go over and ramble on about it, and then the zombies will eat me, and you will all escape. So we've practiced this a lot, right? It's been a thing like, oh, hey, honey, who took Manhattan the best? Jason Voorhees or the Muppets? And then I'll go over here and talk about Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, which you've all seen, I'm sure, and the Muppets Take Manhattan, which you've also all seen. And the correct answer, by the way, is the Muppets, because they ride bicycles. Yes. Maybe you can tell from that joke that I don't always fit in. I can't always tell whether I'm like a tiny man or a large boy. It doesn't help that I can buy my clothing at both TJ Maxx and Carter's. And I should have known the whole time, right? Because I was born 3 months premature. Have you ever taken something out of the oven too early? And it's like all like doughy and raw in the middle, kind of pasty. It has a receding hairline. It has a lot of opinions. That's me. But it's okay. I'm harmless. I don't usually set off a lot of women's spider sense. I call it spider sense. That isn't usually that harmful, but also I was in this room for a while, and there's a lot of women in here who didn't notice me until I got up here on stage, and even then, still not necessarily. So hi, I'm Andy. Nice to meet you. I also don't have green flags or red flags. I just have a white flag because I surrender. So. It's okay. So I have a daughter who's 13 and a wife, and their nickname for me is Delicate Flower. Yeah, so that feeds into the whole harmless thing, right? But it's okay. We get along well as a family. We were in the car recently. We were singing along to a song. It's a favorite in the Pollack household. It's, of course, From This Moment, the duet version with Shania and Brian White, right? And what, you guys aren't Shania Twain fans? Really? Incorrect. So my daughter will be the guitar solo in the song. And of course, my wife will be Brian White, and I'm Shania. Exactly. You get it. My daughter is a cheerleader, and I will often on the weekends go to see her at cheerleading games where there's football also happening. And my wife is the coach of that squad, right? And that's her role. But I make a really good coach's wife. So I'll walk around shaking hands, talking to people, looking like I miss my wife, who's away for long hours coaching. Next weekend I'm running a really good tricky tray. You guys should come. You can win a Kate Spade bag. It'd be great. It'll match your shoes. So, I've never really been that into sports. Maybe you could tell when I'm watching a football game, I refer to them as football points. That's not a thing, I understand. I used to go to a summer camp, and when they would have like drafts for sports and things, of course I would be picked last. When that wasn't the funny part, the fake part. Just let that sink in, I guess. So then we would do tug of war, and whichever team picked me got to pick again. I was like a bingo free space, you know? I couldn't be the anchor to like hold the line, but I would be more the anchor to like stop them from winning. I watched this sketch, this documentary, right? And it's this sketch on Saturday Night Live. Have you seen it? It's called Debbie Downer. Yeah, I've considered hiring a trombone player, but I work in human services, so I don't have the money for that. So, I always knew, though, that I was a champion, and the reason for that is because in middle school, it said that on my sweatpants, because I was a sweatpants kid. So I set myself up for success, you know? But we want to set my daughter up for success, so we're teaching her things, right? Number one, don't be the sweatpants kid. Number two, if you like money, don't work in healthcare or human services, right? So, quick question, side note. Is anyone in here know someone or is someone who is like a nurse or a home health care aide or anything like that? Yes? So true or false? Are you the most broken person that you know in your family or like friends? Is that a thumbs up? I have never gotten a no on that. And I work in that field, and I agree. I am the most broken person in my household. So thank you for confirming that. So we don't want that for my daughter. So she shouldn't do that. We'll make that extra clear to her because we won't be able to afford college for her because of our job choices. Yeah. So the other thing that we were teaching her is don't wear flip-flops. Why, you might ask? Good question. Well, the answer is, if you follow someone in flip-flops for long enough, it'll eventually lead you to a Dave Matthews Band concert. And we don't want that for her, because who does, right? Also, like, you tend to trip in those things, and we don't want that. So what we did do is, during birthday parties that she would have, we would give out flip-flops in the goodie bags to her friends. It's called sabotage, right? Because if you can't raise your daughter up, you need to bring all the other kids down below their level. That's good parenting, right? So then they'd be chased by Jason Voorhees, her friends would fall, Jason would get them, my daughter would escape. The only flaw in the plan is if they were chased by Muppets because they ride bicycles, exactly, right? And so I put together a family-friendly show about last year, right? Middle of the year. Where were all you guys? I'll wait. No, I'm kidding. So the only people who came were my family. It's okay, because while they were my family, they weren't very friendly. The biggest laugh of the night was not me, it was my daughter. She held up her phone and played cricket noises. So we're doing well, we're teaching her really well. You know, that's a win. And it makes sense too, because my wife's name is Autumn, and my daughter's middle name is Winter. So, of course, I have seasonal depression. Like, we did that to myself. But I think the real way that I will know that we've taught her really well is when it's during that zombie apocalypse, and I'm like, we gotta get out of here, right? And I'm looking for my shoes, and my daughter comes up to me and hands me a pair of flip-flops and says, here we go. Thank you, I'm Andy. For the rest of the night, thanks.
Let's hear for Andy, everybody.